Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We hope that everyone had a beautiful day, a day of rest and joy and oneg delight, and maybe enjoyed the changing weather a little bit. We're so happy to be back here, gathered in song and prayer and celebrating the bat mitzvah of Alexandra Horowitz, together here with her family. Welcome. We'll begin with Minha on page 214 if you're looking in the Lev Shalem, and page 558 if you are in the Sim Shalom.
Ashrei beitecha od yalelucha salam.
Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo, ashrei ha'am sh'Adonai Elohav.
Tila David armimcha Eloi HaMelech bevarcha shemcha le'olam va'ed.
Bechol yom avarchecha va'alel shemcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai u'molam me'od u'ligdolato hinchakeh.
דור לדור ישבח מעשיך וגבולותיך יגידו.
הדר כבוד הודיך ודיבי נפלאותיך אשיכה.
וזוז נורותיך יאמרו גדולתך ספרנה.
זכר אהבתך יביעו וצדקתך ירננו.
חנון ורחום אדוני ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל ורחמו על כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו גבורתך ידברו.
להודיע לבני האדם גבורותיו וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל אליך יצברו ואתה נותן להם בתוך למיתו.
פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון יראה ויעשה ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיע.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד.
תהילת אדוני ידבר בי, ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד.
ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם. הללויה.
We turn to page 217, Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעלמה דברת קירותה, וימליך מלכותה, בחי יכול וביום יכול, ובחי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יש מרבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה.
וישתבח ויתפאר, ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי קדושה בריחו, לילה מכל ברכתה, ושירתה תשבחתה, ונחמתה תמירן מימן, ואמרו אמן.
We now invite Alexandra to come up to the bima and to lead us in the taking out of the Torah. Page 218 or page 566.
ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון, אלוהים ברוב חסדך, ענני באמת אישך.
You can be seated. We're going to turn to the Torah reading now. And this morning we read from Parshat Tetzaveh, but as is tradition on Shabbat afternoon at Minha, we look towards next week's Torah reading, so we'll be reading from Parshat Ki Tisa. If you're following along in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, we'll begin on page 523, Exodus 30, chapter 11. And for the first Aliyah, we will be calling up Liz and Bruce Gitlin. ותגלה ותראה מלכותו עלינו בזמן קרוב, ויחון פליטתנו ופליטת עמו בית ישראל אחינו חסד רחמים ורצון, ונאמר אמן. הכל אבו גודל אלוהינו נכבוד לתורה. יעמוד שרה בת ראובן ברכה, ודוב בן מרדכי וגיטל עלייה ראשון. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו, ואתם מדביקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום. Baruch Adonai Le'olam V'ed.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor ki tisa et rosh bnei Israel livkudechem v'natenu yishkofer nafsho l'Adonai bivkod otam v'lo yihyeh v'chem negef bivkod otam Zeh yitnu kol ha'over al ha'pikudim machatzit ha'shekel b'shekel ha'kodesh esrim gira ha'shekel machatzit ha'shekel tiruma l'Adonai.
Notain HaTorah.
Amen. Yesher koach. For the second Aliyah, we call up Alexandra's parents together with her younger brother Johnny. Yahamot Haurim Habat Mitzvah L'Aliyah Shenit.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMvarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam V'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMvarach Le'olam V'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Kol ha'over al ha'pikudim mi ben esrim shana v'mala yitain tirumat Adonai ha'ashir lo yarbeh v'chada lo yamid mimachatzid ha'shakel latet et tirumat Adonai l'chaper al nafshotechem v'lakata et kesef Hakipurim me'et b'nei Israel v'natata oto al avodat ochel moed v'chaya livnei Israel lezikaron livnei Adonai lechaper al nafshotechem.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yesher koach. And for the third and final Aliyah this afternoon, we call Alexandra Horowitz to the Torah as Bar Mitzvah. Tamot, 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 Habachura bat mitzvah, Alexandra bat shalom, Halevi l'Aliyah Hashlishit.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMvarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam V'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMvarach Le'olam V'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu. Wait.
Yep.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor ve'asita kior nechoshet v'chano nechoshet liratza v'natata oto beino ochel moed uvein hamizbeah v'natata shama maim v'rachatzu acharon uvana mimenu et yedehem ve'et raglechem bivoam el ochel moed yirchatzu maim velo yamutu o bigishtam el hamizbeah lisharet lechaktir ishet ladonai v'rachatzu yedehem v'ragilehem v'lo yamutu v'chayta lahem hak olam lo zara lidorotam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. And we sing together.
And we sing Shecheyanu as you cover the Torah. You can close the scroll and you can cover the Torah. And we sing the Shecheyanu. You can stay with, you can all stay together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
וזאת התורה שעשה משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה.
We invite Alexandra's parents to sit back down, and it is my pleasure to invite Alexandra to teach us words of Torah with her Deborah Torah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I can't believe my bat mitzvah is finally here. I've always imagined my friends and family here with me on this day, and I've never imagined that it would be an online service. It is very strange, yet I'm still very happy that you're all able to join me via live stream. Thank you all for being here today. My Torah portion, Ki Tisa, is about the Israelites when they had just escaped being enslaved in Egypt. They reached the desert, and then they thought, well, what now? We've escaped many, many years of enslavement with the help of God. What should we do? As the Parsha tells us, one of the first things God instructed them to do was start a census and taxing system. The taxes were equal for everyone, regardless of status, and instead of giving money to the government like we do today, they would give a sacrifice to God. Nowadays, taxes are very normal, and it is all so strange to think that they were also normal thousands of years ago. Medieval commentator Rashi explained this policy of everyone paying the same amount in taxes regardless of their status. He says that the payment was a kind of counterbalance for being individually counted, or, in other words, a way for each Israelite to atone for their counting. We might ask ourselves, what's so wrong about being counted? Why does this need to be atoned for? Modern scholar, the late Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, has taught us that in Judaism, we see the act of being individually counted as a kind of bad luck. So instead of counting how many we are and seeing this as the most important thing, Sachs suggests that we should count strength in other ways. For examples, instead of measuring the Israelites' probability of winning a war by the number of people that would fight, they might measure it by the strength of the people who would fight. As a bat mitzvah, I am now old enough to be counted as a Jewish adult. But as we learned from Rabbi Sachs, being a number isn't enough. It's about the quality of my involvement. And though the world today is very different due to COVID, I will still do my best to make sure that my participation counteracts my mere presence as a number. Thinking about COVID, it seems that the Israelite situation is a very similar situation to the pandemic we are currently experiencing. Although the Israelites' enslavement lasted much longer than the virus that rages today, or at least we hope so, they escaped Egypt and started a nation. I believe that like the Israelites who overcame slavery, we can overcome COVID and come out of the pandemic more prepared than at the start of COVID. We can emerge with a greater focus on how we prepare ourselves for these situations. We are the Israelites, and we must escape our Egypt of COVID and not necessarily build a new nation, but build a nation that is more prepared. With new protocols, we will know how to deal with mask closure, and we will be more careful with how we physically interact with each other. No handshakes, wearing masks in crowded indoor public spaces, so on and so forth. COVID has also encouraged me to push outside of my boundaries. For example, instead of doing my regular daily routine, I had to push myself to learn differently and keep myself busy in different ways. If it weren't for quarantine, I actually would have quit lacrosse. But almost every day, my mom would tell me that I had to take my brother, Johnny, outside and play lacrosse with him because I was on the couch too much and she thought my brain would melt from staring at screens all day. Playing lacrosse with my brother has made me a lot better at it. And since then, I've joined a tri-state lacrosse travel team. I also learned how to play ice hockey, which I've been longing to learn how to play for a while, but never got the chance until I had time in my schedule. And of course, online learning has made me have to push myself to learn differently and learn to take online instead of handwritten tests, which is a lot harder than it sounds, especially with math. These are all things that COVID has made me get better at, learn, and adjust to. So, in the end, my parsha has taught me that strength is not by numbers, yet by the quality of our actions and contributions, and that, like the Israelites, we can overcome our issues with strength and perseverance. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Mazal Tov. And we, at this point, will sing together Siman Tov Mazel Tov and throw some sweet treats, if we have.
Oh, Siman, Siman Tov, Oy Mazel, Mazel Tov, Yelanu Lechol Israel, Amen. Yiralai, Ralai, Rai, Hairalai, Rai, Hairalai, Rai, Hairalai, Rai, Hairalai, Rai. Hai ra 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 hai ra ra oh Siman Tov Oy Mazel Tov Yelanu Lechol Israel Amen Hai ra ra
Wow, Johnny, you have quite the strong arm. I see all the sports athleticism in your family. At this point, we'll invite Alexandra's family back up to join her at the bima for a bracha. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov ve'imotenu Sar Rivka Rachel veLeah. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless Alexandra Mary Horowitz, Alexandra Bat Shalom Halevi, who has come forward this day to the reading of the Torah in recognition of her desire to live a worthy Jewish life. Alexandra, you chanted and taught us words of Torah that express a deep-seated valuing of making sure that each and every person feels that they count for their unique strengths and gifts. You see our current journey through the wilderness of our days as having deep roots in the exodus of our ancestors, finding kinship in the generations that came before us, and resilience and strength through their story. As you shared these words with your family, with your friends, with your community, you connected the vision of our ancestors to the hope for a world that you yourself envision, taking the charge to make this moment of stepping into Bat Mitzvah one of empowered leadership, walking in the steps of the generations that came before you. Just as you demonstrate commitment and passion to all that you do, from your love of sports, lacrosse, and now ice hockey, and your classes at Brearley, to the time that you spend with your family, with your parents and your brother Johnny, to your connection to tzedakah, to charity, today you demonstrated a deep commitment to Jewish learning, living, and being part of building a more just world where all feel they truly and fundamentally count. May you always hold in your heart this desire to learn and breathe in all that is happening in your midst. And may God grant you the continued strength to be a partner in building a world that reflects the values you see as so very possible. May God continue to be with you and in the life that lies before you, just as God has been with you from the day of your birth until now. May it be God's will that you continue to grow in body and in spirit, in wisdom and humility, in the love of all creatures, in faithfulness and courage, surrounded by your beloved family. And may you always be regarded as gracious and wise in the eyes of God and all of humanity. Yevarechech Adonai v'yishmerech. Ya'er Adonai panav eleich v'chunek. Yisa Adonai panav eleich v'yasem lach. Shalom.
Amen.
Mazal tov.
Amen.
And we invite parents to sit back down. Mazal tov. And Alexandra will return the Torah for us, which can be found on page 221 in the Lev Shalem, or page 570 in the Sim Shalom.
Yechalelu et Shem Adonai, ki nizgav shemo levado.
Hodo haaretz v'shamayim vayarem keren le'amo tehila lechor chasidav Livnei Israel am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Yallarallarallarallarallay, hayraira. Hayarallarallarallay, hayraira. Hayarallarallarallay, hayraira. Yararai. Ashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Kaddish Yameinu Kekedem. Ashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Kaddish Yameinu Kekedem.
Alexandra, you can have a seat. Yesher koach. And we conclude our Mincha service with the Mincha Amidah, which will be preceded by Chatzi Kaddish on page 222.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ויאמר יבח יודי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי תוכו בית ישראל בגל המצוון קרים ואמרו אמן.
יהי שם רבה מברך יעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמע דקודשה בריחו לאל אמין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
We rise and face Yerushalayim for the Amidah, page 223.
Adonai, שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גואל לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיים איתי מטורף להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם מחלקי החיים בחסד מחיי מתים רחמים רבים סומך טופלים ורפא חולים ותיר אסורים וקיים אמונתו ישני עבר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומתעמלך מחמי מת ומחיים מצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה חיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
לקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות מלך כל הארץ כבודו.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ובדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם מלך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפין לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Kaddish Shalom can be found on page 230 and page 596.
יתקדע ויתקדש שמי רבה ועמדי ואחיותי והמליך מלכותי בחיי אחרוני ומכון וחייתך בית ישראל בגלה בזמן קרי והימרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שם לקודשה ברכו לאל אמין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמידם בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
אמן. תתקבע הצותן ואתונך ישראל קודם עווני בשמי והימרו
אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מנשמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ מושב יגרב שמיים ממעלה שכינת וזוהר וגרמים הוראות
על כן הקבל לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות מהר ולראות וזכה להביא גילויים מן הארץ ועליהם לראות יקרית.
ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We now invite all those who are mourning or marking a yahrzeit to turn to page 232 or page 600. And join us in Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Atom. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayachon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayed d'chol Beit Yisrael. B'agala u'vizman kari ve'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yispa'ar ve'yitramam ve'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei d'kudsha brichu.
Amen.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma ve'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlam rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael ve'el kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. May all those we remember, their memories be for a blessing.
Amen. So we still have a couple of minutes until we can actually do the Havdalah. So
So it's still Shabbat?
we still Shabbat for a couple of
good.
minutes. But so if you wanna tell us what are the meaning behind the elements of the Havdalah, if you wanna share a teaching on that.
Sure. So in just a few minutes, we'll make Havdalah, and we use wine, and we use aromatic smelling spices, and we use the flicker of a multi-wicked candle. And there are many, many meanings behind this tradition, but the one that I find the most beautiful is the idea that we engage in all of our senses as we say goodbye to Shabbat. We taste the sweet wine, we smell the spices, and we look at our hands in the reflection of the candle as we sing together, and we hear one another's voices, we hear the sounds of our own voice. And it's just so beautiful to think of doing this transitional ritual, right? We're actually in sort of a liminal space in the moment that we're making Havdalah. Transitioning from Kodesh, from holiness, to Chol, which we translate as sort of ordinary, but by doing this beautiful multi-sensory ritual, we're actually embedding beauty and holiness into the Chol, into the ordinary, and remembering that that which is bodily is not just ordinary, it's part of what makes us beautiful and special as humans and makes us created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. So I'm looking forward to, in just a few minutes, when Shabbat ends, which is not yet, to engaging in these beautiful rituals with you.
Beautiful. So we're going to do the nigun as we invite the family to come closer. I'll tell you when to light the candle, which will mark the beginning of the week in a way. We're saying farewell to Shabbat. So you can go closer to the table, and we can sing this nigun, this beautiful nigun. You can bring all the elements closer to the table, to the big table, so you have it there.
And when we do get to Havdalah, we'll be on page 283. I just want to also mention one thing that is very special for this Shabbat, which is where we're about to sing a series of verses from different parts of the Tanakh, but there's one line
when we sing La Yehudim Hayta Ora V'Simcha V'Sason V'Ikar, which is a section from the book of Esther we just read in Purim. So this sense of that we have to celebrate that comes from the book of Purim is actually recited every single Saturday night as we welcome the week. So we'll do it one more time, the Nigun, and then we can actually then light the candle, okay? Adonai Hoshia HaMelech Ya'anenu V'yom Koreinu La Yehudim Hayta Ora V'Simcha V'Sason V'Ikar La Yehudim Hayta Ora V'Simcha La Yehudim Hayta Ora V'Simcha V'Sason V'Ikar Ken Tiheh Lanu Tiheh Lanu Ken Tiheh Lanu Kos Yeshuotesa V'Shem Adonai Yekra Ay rai ra 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 rai rai Ay rai ra 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 rai rai Ay ra ra rai 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 Ay rai ra 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 rai Let me just sing now.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen
Ay ra 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 rai rai Ay ra 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 rai rai Ay ra ra rai 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 Ay ra 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 rai
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'em borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim.
Now you can smell the spice.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechol shen ben Yisrael ha'amim ben yom hashavi l'sheshet yamei ha'amase. Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lechol.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו עם כל זרענו וכספנו ירווה ירווה כחול וככוכבים בלילה. זרענו וכספנו ירווה ירווה כחול וככוכבים בלילה. אליהו
הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי, במהרה בימינו יבוא אלינו. Moshiach ben David, Moshiach ben David.
שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב ומזל טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב ומזל טוב. מזל טוב, מזל טוב. שבוע טוב, have a great week. And those of you who are interested in joining us for Arvit, there's going to be a service starting probably in a couple of now, about now on Zoom. For those of you who want to join Rolly on the Zoom Minyan.
Shavua tov.
Shavua tov. Have a great week.
Shakoach.
Oh, Siman, Siman tov. Oy, Mazel, Mazel tov. יהיה לנו לכל ישראל, אמן. מזל טוב, שבוע טוב.
Shabbat tov.